the Paris Eternal, Florida Mayhem. I actually don't think I watched a ton of that same.
But for the Paris Eternal, they just
That
need
was
to put
work.
it together. It felt like they were very all over
Paris
the place,
played.
and they weren't playing a very
I did watch
solid
the Florida match where they played Atlanta. These are two teams that like have just run into teams that are projected to be pretty strong already. I thought Hydron looked good at times. That Florida game I think was also the game where we got like the weird. Oh, I think that the Atlanta game was also the game where they did like the weird Roadhog on. Yeah, they did the weird Roadhog on.
The Florida Mayhem isn't looking to run Roadhog, at least as of right now. Someone trying to lock in that Winston, and then of course just kind of seeing.
All right, let's do this thing.
Be able to support a tank choice like that.
Might help if I show you guys the game too. All right, what do we got? So, looks like Paris might be. We got a McCree. I feel really bad about my Monday morning, meta report, because I didn't know we even saw a McCree. Callister out there on the McCree. I feel like he's very, very diveable. So this is more of like the classic rush that we saw last year.
To really get that speed boost up and online, and of course Hydron to get into position before hitting the go button here.
So unlucky, Hydron has to actually reload. Someone at Animo.
All right, so yeah, kind of the same approach that we saw in the Vancouver versus London match right here, where the team running the Reinhardt wants to try to take this room and then push back out onto the point, but force the dive in. So they're holding their supports back here. The goal is someone will dive in here, and then you can bring him back in and collapse. Hydron's in a really good position to try to contest with the crossfire if that were to happen. Kind of negate the shield. You're creating too much pressure. So let's see what gives.
Hydron to get into position before.
Hydron taking the deep flank and finds the Glister.
So unlucky, Hydron has to actually reload. Someone at Animo.
Oh, but they just lost the dive.
And Cassidy in general still pretty decent in the 1v1s. You don't have the flashbang, like the stun anymore. But if you hit that magnetic grenade, then shoot someone once, maybe twice if they receive a little bit of healing. That's an insta-kill if the grenade ends up landing.
So, like, I think Hydron got good, positioning to try. Like, it's a good thought, right? Like, we're going to come back here. He spots Glister. I don't even know where he... Oh, the Glister gets pinged. The Cassidy gets pinged. Glister is playing Cassidy. And so he goes in for this this rotation here, but the team just doesn't follow up and someone's dead. I think it's better probably to stay here and deal damage on the dive.
And of course Hydron to get into position before hitting the go button here.
So unlucky, Hydron has to actually reload. Someone at Animo are dead. And Cassidy in general still pretty decent in the 1v1s. You don't have the flashbang, like the stun anymore. But if you hit that magnetic...
Yeah, that was just a little eager from Hydron, I think. And I don't know if someone was maybe trying to dive and just got blasted on the approach.
That's huge. And Glister also has already done so much damage that they're close to ult already, Jaws. That could be massive going into...
It's also just such a hard approach.
Trying to take a quick rotation, but check
like the Lucio, you're kind of taking that that approach like you get on name of it's the one control map that's not in the rig, but where the Lucio can just kind of speed boost you to whatever choke they're coming through.
If he can get someone lined up, someone going pretty low, 50 HP remains, not quite enough to get away though. He did try.
Absolute Chad amount of healing from Khan in that fight, and Dreedra is gonna still have oh, so Dreedra just is a little slow getting his getting his beat, able to counter it.
It wasn't quite quick enough. So much here to use that nano as well for the sustain, but checkmate in the back.
They used a lot to take that point, and Paris is going to come in with Blizzard Beat and Deadeye. They had to invest a lot there. And I think, again, like, Hydron, I think, pops this a little early, right? Like, he pops it after someone dies, and then has to take this long route to try to get an angle on everybody else. So then they have to end up investing the blade. I think you take that. You know, you got 55%. You're going to be at around 60 when the points flips.
Well, it's a little dicey there for the Florida Mayhem because Surmajit did donate over the nano to someone, and someone
you might get beat in this fight. I think you definitely get beat if the Winston can get the space with the Primal.
Keep control of this point, but Paris Eternal, they executed a lot of patience there after Florida Mayhem used so many ults.
Oh, another lamp going down, and then it dying instantly, and then a beat being used. So much
Back for the
run over as Dorito and the rest of the squad.
That was a good place to try to take that fight, though. That's a really advantageous spot. You get a lot of cleat damage. There's not a lot of places you can rotate out with the Lucio. But because the Ana falls, too, they can get back in this.
Did actually force out someone's primal rage. High Noon looking, scouting, spying,
Base.
trying to find the skulls. Not quite. Checkmate does fall on the sidelines.
What is going on? What was that? What a dive. What a dive from someone. And this is what we saw in that match against Anna, right? Like, just kind of use the jump button whenever it's off cooldown. And it ends up in very strange places. Like, he didn't get any real value out of that. He drops the bubble, I think, to try to, like, push them past the choke. But rather than that, they just rotate into the...
They're in fact getting forced away.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, Hydron does have to step back just a little bit to be able to put down the heal station and grab some heals from Surmajit, but with the amplification matrix, at least Paris Eternal can create some space.
Oh man, yeah, they just...
Oh, it doesn't matter if you just run past it, right? Like,
plus the nano damage was a little bit too much to bear. That window, I will say, from Paris Eternal, Khan used the window super early, and the rest of his team already pushed past it. Oh, here you go. Nano, nade.
Yeah.
Nice couple of kills.
Now we're entering into last fight territory for the Florida Mayhem, and they're looking pretty good right now, Jaws. They've got the Dragon Blade. They're just going to go...
This is, I mean, look, if you're going to play this dive comp, not something we saw Vancouver do very effectively on this map, you've got to take the early fight.
So is Khan. The rest of the team sure to follow. Checkmate and the rest of the team might as well play.
Like, you have the aggression advantage. If you can get onto the back line, like, if you let Paris aggress on you with the Reinhardt composition, you're gonna lose that fight. Gotta be the dictates the pace, which means you gotta find the dive target, gotta get the call out, and you know, just look at these dives compared to the dives that we were seeing from Vancouver in that last match, right? So I don't know why you're going to take this position here. You know, they are trying to get into this room and maybe loop around, but, you know, you take this dive before, but I just want you to watch, like, you see someone jumping in, and look where the Genji is. He's right there with him. They're able to get onto the Baptiste. They take out Lamp. They, you know, kill the May. Like, this is...
The tactical advisor has been used.
Oh, and up.
Use that beat to touch the point. 99 turns to 100.
Yeah.
So close,
like, that's the difference, right? If you're gonna run dive, it needs to be coordinated. Can't go in by yourself.
Trying to look forward to the next round. I feel like Paris Eternal is gonna make some changes. Don't agree with the Baptiste. I just don't. I don't think the Baptiste actually ended up finding the value it needed to. The immortality feels...
Alright, so they're going to switch to the dive. Are they going?
Particularly because of how easily the Florida Mayhem were able to just take those out. So I really like the choice of the Ana here for Paris Eternal. Just look at how much Surmajit was finding value from that Ana. Paris Eternal could benefit a lot from having the same.
All right, so basically same thing, except we're swapping out the Baptiste for the Ana here.
Seeing shades of last series, in fact. One team playing the Rhine on the high ground.
I mean, I do think you get some value out of the Baptiste on this map because there's just so much kind of close quarter area where you can try to take the fight. Ooh. Look, again, like this was like this doesn't work. They cycle their cooldowns in a way to be able to get out of that. But that's what you want. Like they coordinate the dive. Genji dashes through the back line. You've got the crossfire coming in from the soldier on the low. And now it's just a brawl on the point, right? And if it's a brawl on the point, it's probably going to benefit Paris. I don't know what Animo's doing back.
Animo finds that kill, and now the Paris Eternal just have to play all the way back. They lack so much damage. Without that soldier, you're relying on Naga hitting right click, right click, right click to get anything meaningful done. And a big nade from Khan keeps
this it's just a very awkward spot from Florida to like because you're still kind of running in the death ball, so you're still getting some advantage out of the shield, but they end up finally like leading that. That's a pretty good fight. I mean, it's a good stall from Paris. They grinded that fight out, and they're gonna have some ults coming back in. I think they're gonna have Blizzard. They have Shatter. They have Nano. Blade. We're gonna have Primal. It should be a pretty bloody fight here. Very early. I love the way that we're seeing Florida play this dive there. They're being very aggressive, but they had to invest a lot to get. It has to get the Primal to get out. He had the Nano. He just didn't get a ton of value from the Nano. I mean, they slowed down this fight a little bit and are able to take the lead.
Comes through. There is a blade for the Florida Mayhem as soon as the Paris Eternal stop this unrelenting aggression. Dredro needs to play safe. If he dies, this could just be Mayhem fighting yet another fight. The beat comes out. It hits.
Very early beat. Have to be.
This unrelenting aggression. Dredro needs to play safe. If he dies, this could just be Mayhem fighting yet another fight.
Okay, so he got bionated, so he had to.
I think his beat was interrupted. In fact, checkmate with the blade still was also low. Hydron creating a lot of space.
Dredro got bionated, and I think had to take that, and yeah, pretty clutch.
May have found two, but with Dawn existing on the point, Giant Rectangle Man is going to be able to claim it and protect Glister.
That beat from Dredro was so good. Paris Eternal had so many players purple because of a huge biotic grenade that came in from Sturmajit. That extra overhealth was so important for the Paris Eternal to be able to survive the onslaught from the Florida Mayhem.
And again, we have this kind of approach like we got from London, where it's like, okay, you want this point back, you're going to have to come fight into us. Wow. And this is what we've seen just a ton with the Genji. It's like, right, he's gonna yell and jump in the air to be able to accept everything, right? I mean, he takes a unique angle, but then he just gets purpled. He gets hit with Helix rockets. They just invest everything to shut that.
He did not. The rest of Paris didn't see that coming, but Checkmate didn't see that damage on his way. Like, you need the Nano in those situations. They were 5% away. They could have just hit that Nano blade from behind. Nano onto someone now as the Paris Eternal claim the point. They're 65% and counting. Someone gets antied, even if you're nanoed.
I feel like what you're gonna have to start seeing on these in order to protect, you know, your Genji going in is like. So I think like what you're gonna want to do here instead. So this is what happens, right? The Winston is very low already. He's taking a lot of damage. Checkmate's coming up the backside here. He's going to come up high and try to drop in. You've got the Ana. You've got the Soldier. Those are his two targets right here, right? I don't know if Lucio is able to turn and get a boop in as well on this, but he's going to get bionated. He's going to rocketed. I think what you want to do instead for this kind of positioning, if you know that they're back here, they clearly know this is. I think what you want to do is try to position back here and send your Winston up first to try to take out some of the cool that that are ultimately going to hit the Genji. But if you can create the space and create some pressure with and force out even one of those, I think your Genji has a much better chance of flash reset. High value. Not what we get. We get him going in, immediately popping reflect and dying.
Dumpstered. He did not. The rest of Paris didn't see that coming, but Checkmate didn't see that damage on his way. Like, you need the nano in those situations. They were fighting.
And it's just over. Like, you're fully committed to the fight. And it's like, well, our Genji's gonna get something out of this. And as soon as he doesn't, it's like, I don't know why they're like, okay, we're gonna invest the nano here too. I think you just back up and say, go next fight.
Just have to go for a quick reset here, but all the while that big kill onto Checkmate. Ooh, wait, did this buy them some time? Getting rid of Khan.
To get the nano out.
Almost like you get more value out of Genji when he doesn't scream his lungs out to announce his presence while ulting. I say that as Glister is just annihilating everybody with a back visor.
They're trying to run away, deflect, use.
Buy them some time, getting rid of Khan.
To get the nano out fairly early though. There's the visor hits.
Nano visor, like there's just so much more benefit to Nano visor than there is to Nano blade at this point. I think like. I don't know if Genji lives through that level of burst, even if he has the nano.
Can he do it? No, he cannot. Oh, the look on someone's face at the very end. Thought he had the touch. Didn't quite get there. Oasis tied up. One each. And now we go to City Center.
Such a feels bad. Such a feels bad for the Florida Mayhem because someone might have been able to trigger the overtime, but it still felt over. Paris Eternal still had ultimates in the bank.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this matchup plays out if they're going to stick with both of these, because like the big reason that Vancouver succeeded in this matchup on round 2 of their map was like they were just able to maintain the high ground a lot better with Spire.
Just like if a Reinhardt's
but we're not gonna get. You don't talk about hovers. Mirror. It's a mirror matchup.
I smell a April Fool's patch with that being in it.
I do too, actually.
Now she traded out the tanks here. Now it just becomes a scrap.
Traded. Woohoo! But the Florida Mayhem do have the high ground. These Bionades are so easy to hit. Pure Sermaged. All Ana play, especially rookie Ana play recently, has been so good. Hydra in trouble, getting pressured out nicely. They're just trying to chunk.
My gosh, Don's just fed his brains out for 2 fights in a row.
You're very resist. You're still very vulnerable when an Ana does sleep you.
That happens to a lot of the
Like I get you're trying to just secure kills on the way out, but your goal there as the Winston is to unseat them from the high ground and just create the space. You don't have to chase on that.
A little bit more dive heavy coming out from the Paris Eternal, just completely matching that of the Florida Mayhem. So we're gonna see some really fast fights here from both of these teams. It's really gonna come down to who gets those first picks.
Don trapped. Has managed to get out with the lead, but has to go for that big reset. Hydron's been doing so much damage. He's already got himself a visor. No chance.
I love when we switch, like, right as an ult.
It's really going to come down to who gets those first picks.
Took a lot of damage to get down from there.
Has managed to get out with the lead, but has to go for that big reset. Hydron's been doing so much damage. He's already got.
So they just straight up counter dive, Don's dive, right? Like, watch this. So very patient here, right? Letting them engage, and then as soon as Don goes, he knows, all right, I've got access to their back line.
To run away from that one, especially when you're nanoed. Yeah. Goodbye, Paris Eternal. Resets, maybe.
Very good counter dive there. Very patient play from someone.
Run into 3 people, or just the Winston or the cars. Choice is yours.
All right, Dredra, just
Wow.
okay, he gets out. I'm like, all right, Dredra, just die at that point. Like, don't want to waste a bunch of time. But not a professional.
Nice work. Early engage for the Paris Eternal, maybe on.
So they've got the Lucio on the high ground, and okay, the soldiers.
Potentially. There's the
Claim that.
Blister is asleep. Does get woken up eventually by his own means. Dan finds the kill onto Sermaged, or Dredro does, and he helps with the damage, but still someone just causing pandemonium in the back. And the Florida Mayhem with a beat online. Animo hits the ground, hits 3, and it just sends them all the way to Paris Eternal spawn. And Paris Eternal, they've been really struggling to keep afloat, especially in these early engages. They've got 4 ults online now. They've just not been able to get something done without losing someone early on.
All right,
Yeah,
last
the
fight.
takedown of Khan as well was just spelled disaster for the Paris Eternal. Drejo's gonna have to come in here and use the sound.
A very passive
Was just spelled disaster
defense point.
for the Paris
Someone they just like give up all this space to let them back in.
here and use the sound barrier aggressively to give Paris Eternal a fighting
What's
chance
Checkmate gonna
to
do?
actually take this point back.
Checkmate's got blade.
Like you gotta know where the
A lot of that deflected or shielded up.
oh, really good rotation from the supports here. Knowing they've got blade, you can't just set up where you've always set up.
From Glister. A lot of that deflected or shielded up.
Like you don't expect the Ana to be there, right?
Okay, Glister was not expecting that. A beat for the Paris Eternal.
Oh, there you go. I said you don't expect that, but good value out of the blade.
Onto Naga, but the Florida Mayhem looking like they want to back off. They know Paris Eternal invested an absolute ton of ults in that fight. So waiting for the next one is their choice.
It is imperative that Paris Eternal not lose anybody. The comeback potential for any of these team fights, if you're down a player, is pretty small. And unless you take out a big key target like somebody that's ulting or one of the supports, you don't necessarily stand too much of a chance if you do have a player that goes down. So Paris Eternal, they have to play this flawlessly. And they also can't let Hydron get away with this angle. Come on, Naga.
Okay, yeah. Naga was up on the high ground, so you have to be a little bit careful. There's the checkmate blade once again. Has got a reset to his name and finds the kill onto Dredro. That's both Khan and Dredro now dead. Paris Eternal, very little heals. Dan has onto Dredro.
What happened here? Because I agree. Like they just let Hydron take this high ground.
Have to play this flawlessly, and they also can't let Hydron get away with this.
Checkmate is like at half health there. But they've got to do something about, like, they can't really commit onto checkmate there because they've got to get Hydron off the high ground.
To his name and finds the kill onto Dredro. That's both Khan and Dredro now dead. Paris Eternal, very little heals. Dan has primal rage.
Gotta pop
This is
that.
gonna have to be huge. Luckily though, Glister is still alive, using that healing station to keep himself topped up. Kills.
Oh.
It's just so good.
I was like, oh, good timing. Got ran out of my ult there.
And then continue that onslaught of damage.
Well, that's why we've seen so many teams start going after the soldier now. Because if you're able to take away that piece of the puzzle and you just remove the healing station, that is so much survivability gone from the team, and also a huge source of damage.
Another counter dive. Like Florida's just waiting for Paris to make the first move, and I think it's just giving them such good information about like where the backline is, because that's where he's going to be diving from.
Nano onto Dan again. However, Nano, another boostio. Let's go. Okay, Sermaged looking to the left. Whoops, a daisy. Now the Lucio. Animo gets some kills for you, buddy. He's got, you know what? He's actually getting a lot of ult charge. Earned himself a beat off of that Nano. Definitely worth. Sermaged and Animo getting the most kills in that.
That was just a really bad spot for Paris. Like they got backed into a corner, tons of cleave damage coming through. Like the Boostio is able to just kind of free fire into that as well.
End up taking Oasis.
That Boostio was so smart, fun.
I would have liked to have Harris on the like rush style quasi rush. See how it plays.
Sure enough.
We go going to Midtown.
This, Josh, I don't remember. Did we go back in time or did we go forward into a new era? I'm not really sure, but we have been seeing quite a bit of Genji from lots of these teams because Dive is back in full.
Now we're back just straight to this this dive mirror.
Paris Eternal and the Florida Mayhem are going to be running.
Go low ground into and try to take room, and this is all about just like trying to reverse.
It's all about those antis, though.
Reverse position. Want to get on the defensive. That was good. They counter dived and went into forward back, and it looked like Don just went.
You have to be slightly careful because that might happen. However, there is a miniature health pack in there though, so you should be okay. Don unfortunately falls, but they do trade.
And at this point, you don't have any access. If since dead, can't create.
Really match the spawn distance, or at least your distance where you can actually.
The mobility here is so key. There's no way to like slow approach.
Yeah, I mean,
because either the damage nightmare or now there's a very damage heavy choke point.
Have Dawn who went down, be able to jump back very quickly. It still comes down to those honest though. The Bionades.
I think it's just really hard in this composition back from that low ground position. But the train is just so easy to get Bionades.
That's a fight over.
Oh no! I think that Nano was supposed to go into the soldier. Could have been wrong, but Glista activates the visor as soon as that Nano went out, but he's dead already.
I've got to say, it's still absolutely insane how quick. Honestly,
Florida Mayhem only used the Nano in that fight. Eternal had to use Nano and the visor. They get little to nothing. 2 minutes to go. Oh, here you go. Here's the replay. That visor gets activated. Oh, no. He barely touched the visor pie. He lifted his hand up, hit the button, and yeah, unfortunately was cut.
Just reflect
quite a bit too
visor
short.
back into.
There's the big nade. There's the blade from Checkmate. You gotta go in, son. Mega health pack. Beautiful deflect. Hits the sleep right back at the Arda. Khan didn't stand a chance. Naga doing a fair work too. He's got 2 kills, and
Naga lived with like 20. Oh no, he's dead now.
I'm afraid
he's got 20 health.
Using the primal rage to just stay alive on this point. Someone did exactly the same thing and traded places. But with that spawn position for the Mayhem being so close, you can see Hydron's already back and he's activated the visor, zoning away the rest of the team. 1 minute and 30 seconds to go, and the Mayhem, they still have firm control.
I have the score of this match wrong.
So
am I missing something?
Find an opening as well, because no matter where the
Florida looks great right now.
Florida Mayhem has their number. Glister can't even get away. Someone is just gonna chase them down and away from the point. Paris Eternal can't even touch. What are they gonna do here except use this sound barrier to go in?
I think this is such a hard point.
Oh no, Jaws.
It's rougher than sandpaper is what this game is.
This feels a lot like Volskaya, where there's just really no great approach. Ass load of damage on the
They have Nano maybe. Naga dies a little bit late, but still, you got 30 seconds, and we're doing touch the spawn door challenge, and at least a couple of the Mayhem have that achievement.
Someone was so low.
Yeah, might be the whole team at the end of this 30 seconds. If the Paris Eternal can't get out there and do something with this Nano. This is the second shot.
After watching so much Overwatch this weekend, it always feels like the team that dives second is at the end, right?
Look at this Nano visor do.
On the visor. Oh, what a sleep by Sir Marchet. Someone woke him up though, and the damage. Oh, it's just too much.
Yo, you're making somebody, whoever woke that soldier up, pay for dinner.
Cracked point A, but for how long? Florida Mayhem could still go for a recontest. They have a Lucio, they have the legs, they have the Winston who can also leap. Oh, not quite. Hydron actually goes down to Glista, who picked him up before he could touch spawn. Looks like a close hold for the Mayhem instead.
Ooh. Paris Eternal.
The very different fight if they just let him rest. Let him rest. Don't wake him up.
Poor someone. Oh no.
Oh, please.
You have a lot more options, I think, on the side of the map. Like, on phase of this high ground, or it's just like taking this aggressive fight.
In New York, quite apt. Just up on the rafters before they come in.
Oh my goodness. I love city chickens. They're my favorite.
City chickens.
Yeah.
Never heard that one. Ooh, you've never heard about Checkmate's blades, though.
No.
Nice double kill with one slash for Checkmate. Holding him
Love
so
how
close.
aggressive
I
Florida's
love the aggression
playing
on,
this.
Florida Mayhem right now. Just playing.
Want to try to get multiple fights on.
Paris Eternal.
They lost the fight so early in defensive play. It's like now you basically get at least three fights in.
With this aggressive play style, Paris Eternal doesn't really have
get it here at the door. You get one at the car wash, and then you
even still
at the point.
Florida Mayhem have so many mobility cooldowns to use to get away. Paris Eternal finally cracked the code, but Hydron might have something to say about that.
So, like, look, someone takes a lot of damage on the approach there, but he gets the deep positioning for free. Like, watch how he just utilizes his high ground, right? And look, he's not going to use it down there. He just drops down off the high ground, is able to pressure the back line, create the space, and he has all of his cooldowns left.
Oh, you wait until the patch comes through. That visor can headshot if you can aim well enough. Another visor, this time Glister, responded to with a beat. Someone has the nano, but Glister's visor does still find Sir Marjed somehow. They trade Ana for Ana, but still Hydron and someone just doing so much work. Naga's blade.
Oh my gosh. Naga got nothing out of that.
Well, at least they kill a couple there, but still spawns are in favor. Unfortunately for Mayhem, not for them this time around. The Paris Eternal finally touches that payload. They're going to get it under this car wash. It's a bit more of a precarious situation though, Rose. If the Florida Mayhem can come back in time, they might be able to control this high ground. Rose.
So, is this just like an over happens?
Thwarted, but visor does still responded to with a beat.
So you do lose the Ana, right? They're going to trade out the Ana with
somehow. They trade Ana for Ana, but still Hydron and someone just doing so much work. Naga's blade thwarted. There's someone on Hydron chase him down. Well, at least they kill a couple there, but still spawns are in favor. Unfortunately,
they overextended and
not for them this time around. The Paris Eternal
Bear's able to get back in.
Get it under this car wash. It's a bit more of a precarious situation though, Rose. If the Florida Mayhem can come back in time, they might be able to control this high ground.
But because they take that early fight after the first, after losing point A, they're going to get this second fight right here under the car wash. Not a great place to try to take a fight.
Missed a couple of right clicks, but didn't miss that one. Naga with the triple.
Ow.
That's what you love to see. 45% towards that blade. 5 seconds to go, but the Paris Eternal are winning this fight. Now the spawn points are flipping in Mayhem's favor. They're pretty close.
Pushed it back in. Like, you see how much space they still have left to go in overtime, and they've had to use a lot to get. And now it's like a pretty neutral fight to get.
Naga's already dead. Wow, that was quick. There's a nade onto Checkmate, so they do trade Genjis.
And this is a tough place because it's like you're under the car wash. You got to keep somebody there.
Oh, the Glister. Hydron 1v1. Does Glister? No. Yes, he does. Oh my word. There's no way. He just flanks and kills two right there. The Paris Eternal is still moving this payload, but look how close these spawn points are. Checkmate's already back, and he's close to a blade. Someone can get out with 69 HP. It's pretty nice, but needs heals. They're so close to delivering the payload. 1 meter to go. Don't step off. They did. Oh dear. Okay.
All right. So this is, I mean, a minute and a half to try to finish is still difficult, but considering where this map was 2 minutes ago, you take this if you're Paris, right?
Taking a mile. They've gotten away with a lot of things in this map that probably shouldn't have happened. But now Paris Eternal are entering into the third and final point on Midtown. They don't have
they've been able to take so much space here. It took a very early. That from like a bionade, big bionade.
Don't have much time though, Jaws. It's really
yes, so they naded the back line and had to. It's just crazy, like how much value you can get out of the Bionades now. Like, obviously, it's a huge cooldown to begin with, but the fact that you can use it and force out a major ultimate like Sound Barrier, crazy.
The Florida Mayhem only invest the beat. Eternal, on the other hand, invest the nano. The payload's got a little while to go, and with 20 seconds on the clock, the Eternal, they need...
I don't feel like we saw too many people finish this map this weekend. I feel like it's a map that's really easy to kind of grind out. Nano Visor.
Visor, Glister, dead. There's the blade from Naga. He's still doing a lot of damage. Hydron's doing more. He kills one with the visor, one with just the regular left click. The Eternal, they've got a visor of their own, but they're forced off of the payload. The Florida Mayhem are going to halt them here.
All right. I mean, look, if you're past though, you take that. Like, you grinded out the streets phase of this. They had to complete point A in overtime. They complete it in overtime. They get halfway to point C. Like, you take that all day, every day, and that was, I mean, Blister clutched that fight or at the end of street.
Both of these teams want to do that. They're both sitting at 0-1 in match score right now, and really don't want to make that into a 0-2. But Paris has their work cut out for them, as they now are up to defend the point. Florida Mayhem just played such an aggressive game that I'm worried that Florida Mayhem's not going to really allow Paris Eternal to set up. And if that's the case, this might be a super quick steamroll for the Florida Mayhem once they get that cart going.
It was very tough for...
I don't know what your good approach options are on the dive here. Like, I do think you get a lot of value out of the Doomfist and trying to just take the Train Guard. I think we saw some teams trying to run the Zarya through there to be able to cleanse. We saw...
Yeah, but
Mayhem were able to draw that fight out.
Did we get that from Dallas? I think they tried to run Hanbin on the attack Zarya on this. Like, there's been different approaches on this point A offense. I don't think anyone's quite cracked like the best way to do it, except for you hope that the defending team over aggresses in the subway and you just aid. This is the standard defensive call, right? Like, so this is what you're gonna see. On the high ground. Big thing you're trying to do here, playing a little bit of gatekeeper, but you're gonna doubt if they're mirroring that they're gonna try to come through. The goal is either let's hop behind the fire truck here, or let's hop in over here. Don's in a good position to try to counter dive. Got Khan on this side. So kind of the standard dive defense.
This is what I want to see from soldiers, like a lot more. Like, this flank is just huge. Getting up onto the high ground or just having control of that miniature health pack there is very, very nice. And the angle around the fire truck's super good. Plus legs is legs, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you're running fast. If anybody chases after you, you're good.
So this is an interesting position for the soldier. He's got some high ground. He's got good sight lines. I think he can drop down onto that box and be able to support his team on the point.
But unfortunately, the rest of his team, potatoes on the point. Oh no, I say that. Arnamo and someone are dead, however. 3 on 3. Wait, are they foregoing the point just for kills? The KDA play maybe? Yes, they are.
Trying to maintain that space, like you...
Two more of those and you'll
to be able to get back up on the high ground, right? So I think that's a good push in there, because it means that they're going to have to fight for the space to get back to the subway car.
A little bit. At least they did capture a point. But...
Oh, that visor is so sad.
Oh, no.
That damage resistance on Khan worked out in his favor. That's a triple kill for the normal resistance on.
So they waste the space that they create. But so the thought here is like, okay, we've got even numbers and we have more benefit us to go in here. Even if there's a chance that we're going to die on this, if we can push their support back in here, it's going to force the through here, create support, and they don't just get to freely take back the high ground. I think this is the right play, right? And I think the only option you have is to retreat back through the room. You still take an aggressive position to try to retake the space. And yeah, the visors, they have stayed a little long.
Yes, they are. They got a checkpoint at least. I mean, hey, 2 more of those, and you will have actually had the.
I don't think they were necessarily for going. He said, are they for going the point kills? I don't think they necessarily were. I think they were trying to maintain the space.
Have to just give up a little bit. At least they did capture a point. But
oh, that visor is so sad.
oh no.
Yeah, that he got dove on instantly. That was a really strong bubble from.
For the normal Genji. Oh. See ya.
Wait.
Majed knows he's going back to spawn, let's be real.
Was he just chilling to die? Like, I guess he was just like, okay, I guess I'm just not gonna use cooldowns.
See ya. Majed knows he's going back to spawn, let's be real.
Yeah, like, don't delay the inevitable.
Sit there and let it happen. But
Very good retake from
could use it
really
to
good.
Save
Like, that was
someone.
all down to
Not
diving
too
back.
far away from the Dragon Blade though, so that could be a really nice ultimate combo, one that we've seen a lot of this weekend.
That was good. That was really good.
Ooh, what's this? Blister just kind of peeking out of a window, waiting for somebody to walk through for that tack visor.
Oh, that bubble used super early. Bliss is getting sped forwards with that visor in hand, however getting booted back by someone. They killed Darn? They killed Darn of all people in that situation? Darn was trying to create as much space as possible. As human or monkeyly possible.
Get another fight out of this? I think you get another fight out of this, right? Maybe the fight was taken so far forward that you can't. Oh yeah, they're gonna get another fight out of it. Very smart to just like, all right, let's speed boost everybody out, get back to this point, and we're gonna make them invest even more to try to win this.
Naga ends up going down, use that blade, a checkmate, a cleaning house, and writing his own check at this.
I think you take that from Paris in that situation. If Don dies that early, like just to be able to get another fight where they've got to, invest the nano and stuff like that into it. I think you just take that.
Yeah, I mean, Paris Eternal do get up to the high ground first before that fire truck is able to round this first corner to enter into the car wash. But look at this. You know, Don playing just a little bit of peekaboo around this corner. As
always, in this situation, I'm like, oh, again, like, look at the timing of the dive compared to what we saw with Vancouver. Like, checkmate goes in with the blade, and someone is in right behind him.
Sayonara, Paris Eternal, the Florida Mayhem.
Very good fight.
Their streak of win fights here, and getting it onto the car wash is the hardest bit on this map. Paris Eternal will be able to contest before it reaches the other side, but with that high ground,
very good fight from Florida. They've got a ton of stuff to try to finish the point out too.
So much space with this tactical visor. Don just jumps in, maybe unknowing that might come through, and big trade.
Very, very good trade. But they're still very unwilling to fight this fight, even though Sir Majed is down. Wow, okay. Oh, there you go. Okay, they're finally forcing someone back.
Well, that works out really well because
very strange fight there. Like
off of all of that chunk that came down onto someone.
Guess you're just trying to make sure that you don't
or something. 2 minutes
give up something.
Well,
like
if
you.
this doesn't work, then you always have other ultimates to cycle through.
I guess that's the aim of that.
Hydron's got one of his own, but Glisses is better, especially
wow.
when he's coated.
Nano visor.
Nice play from
you take that. Very good, very good fight, and now you've got all the space in the world to work. Now, like the cart positioning doesn't really matter at this point. You've got a minute and a half left. You make them have to invest a lot just to get to the cart, let alone push it to the point. And Naga is gone. Do they ping it? Like, what happens here?
played online. Unless, yeah, okay.
Checkmate dashes in and Hydron Helix rockets him out. That was really, really solid stuff. Good call out, good reaction time. All that space you just generated with the team kill over because you got to retreat out of there. And very early Primal having to be used because someone's like, not someone, I'm sorry, Don is like, he's trying to stay up there to maintain some pressure. He doesn't want to surrender all that space, and he knows that he has it, but he had to use it very early.
Because there's too much health and he can't get the reset. Dorito also used his beat in that fight, so it's up to Florida Mayhem now to find kills with their blade.
Right, so if Checkmate can get something out of this blade, though, nothing really to counter this. Right? I think he I know it, or
just a moment might be worth.
Gosh.
Somehow, though, manages to find that kill. The Florida Mayhem and
very clutch kill. If he gets that blade off, it's a totally different story.
With 25 seconds to go, they have to up the ante. Florida Mayhem with the blade still online in a fantastic sleep by Khan. Naga has nothing more to say in this fight, has to get out, but Glister's there to save the day. The Eternal are defending. Glister finds the visor, finds yet another kill with the Helix rockets. Somehow, some way, the Florida Mayhem win, using their ults. Time is ticking down. It is the so
this all goes back to the kill on the Checkmate. Like, Checkmate took so long to get back into this fight.
But could use that beat for the sustainability. Has his blade, no nano to boot this time from, or can't go in because there's too much health and he can't get the reset. Dorito also used his beat in that fight, so it's up to Florida Mayhem now to find. Dorito also used his beat in that fight.
Oh wait, I'm sorry.
It's getting completely denied.
Oh no, I was right. The kill on the Checkmate is
too much health and he can't get the reset. Dorito also used his beat in that fight.
Is huge here.
To Florida Mayhem now to find kills with their blade.
Yeah.
He's done it once.
He's got his blade, and he's like, I think he's got access to this backline, but he just doesn't have the cooldowns to get in. Doesn't have the support to get in. That kill was huge. And then it just becomes scrappy. Like, yes, Don is dead at this point.
With 25 seconds to go, they have to up the ante. Florida Mayhem with the blade still online in a fantastic sleep by Khan. Naga has nothing more to say in this fight, has to get out, but Glister's there to save the day. The Eternal are defending. Glister finds the visor, finds yet another kill with the
Look, Checkmate's still not back into
some way. The Florida Mayhem whiff using their ults. Time is ticking down.
Very clutch kill on the Checkmate. There. Not even able to touch the point. Okay, let's
was that nano good stuff all around. I did troll face, maybe? Troll face? Someone on Hog? He's on offense. Come on now. Come on. Let's not get baited.
Yeah, alright. Paris Eternal. They walked out of spawn. We're gonna talk about that. Glister on the Widowmaker. You can definitely find some great angles here, and there are also some really nice.
So I don't know how did they cut the.
So, love to see that, especially because Glister is super.
So those are your brand new hybrid and escort maps for this season. Who do you guys think is going to be the
Maker?
Sorry, I don't know if they cut out the part with the.
It's gonna really help out with that, sticking to the Zenyatta choice, and.
Oh no, here it is.
Oh my god! What is this? Oh my god! Right over the roof. Okay, there's no way Paris Eternal were expecting this level.
Okay, I thought Florida did it on defense, so that's where I got it wrong.
Oh my god!
Wow.
What is this? Oh my god! Right over the roof. Okay, there's no way Paris Eternal were expecting this level. This is EU ranked in a nutshell right here. The Stola doesn't know where to look. Do I look up high? Do I look at their spawn?
Wow.
No. Wall TP over the top. Thank you very much. See you in spawn.
Oh my god.
And the thing is like, if this is a legal play, right, you don't do anything other than this when you're playing this map, because coming out of that door, there's really no good position for the defense to try to take to stop you. And so, even if, like, you expect it, get all that space. So, like, you can understand from the league's perspective why they don't want team this, but it does kind of suck. It does kind of suck, and I think they have to play this whole round out before they decide they have to redo it, right?
They don't do anything just yet. That's Maywall from the Mayhem. Stops Paris Eternal doing anything either, so they're good. A little bit of a trade just to cool down. They do have to wait for their
And because I think because this resets, it's a mental fucking because like you're hype as fuck after.
75%.
It's a lot. Yeah, I mean those spheres they do be adding up here, but Florida Mayhem just continuing to put all the pressure. Paris Eternal has no choice but to back off from this coalescence.
Look at all the tempo that's generated. Like they're just on the back foot. They don't really aggress. Like you're just on top of the Sigma at all times.
Hydron finds his head missing on his body, but doesn't matter because the Mayhem have claimed the point. Kalista going off though. Come on, take the turret down. Let's go. We'll count that as a 5k because the turret was definitely an extra kill. They're annoying to kill most of the time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of pointless.
I don't like him. I don't think anybody likes him. Unless you're like playing this Symmetra?
Yeah. That's
I guess.
the only time where they're not annoying. Teleport.
Your team.
Wall available. Oh, okay. It was destroyed. He's throwing the turrets at them now. I'm not
Trying to
sure
figure out when they.
Roof was it slidey? You know,
Yeah.
you kind of slide. Posing for a boy band photo or something? Wait a sec.
Oh,
Wait,
no.
did they play both maps?
Are they posing for a boy band photo or something? Like, what are they doing up there? Oh, they're still there too. Okay, so they're gonna hold height.
Sorry, I don't know how this played out. Like,
Just consistent damage.
Speaking of
because at some point they make them replay this, right?
for you. Okay, as a small update for you, Florida are actually going to re-attack after this break. Potentially something wrong going on. We'll fill you in with all of the details.
Oh, so they basically okay. So we'll watch Paris's because that's the one that counts it.
Hours scrimming this exact map. On,
For the Paris.
All right, here we go. All right, so we're gonna watch the Paris attack. So the Florida, because of that move that they pulled at the beginning of that map, Florida had to replay.
Oh, okay. Let's have a look at this replay of the Royal TP. Look at the way in the bottom left. You can see how the Paris Eternal are positioned.
Yeah.
They just have no idea. Clueless. Straight over the top. I mean, that
Absolutely
reminds me
crazy.
of the Gladiators flank on Kings.
God, it was
Oh, man.
it was so smart too because Paris Eternal didn't have much mobility either. It's like
Wait.
Florida Mayhem knew that. They couldn't get away.
Wait a sec. Wait a sec.
Oh no.
What, are they
Oh,
posing?
no.
Are they posing for a boy band photo or something? Like, what are they doing up there? Oh, they're still there too. Okay, so they're gonna hold height. That is a slippery roof, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, it's not. Okay, I thought it was a slippery roof. And Hydron.
I don't know much about this map. This is crazy.
Oh, Glister.
And Florida just trying crazy shit out here. I mean, they win this. Oh no, they won the beginning of the fight. But I mean, this is what you used to kind of do on. I'm so bad with map name.
At some point, this has to fail, right?
The hybrid map that Hollywood. This is what you do on Hollywood, right? Where you take that early fight at the spawn doors because you want to get extra fight.
I like it. I thought that roof was a slidey, you know.
Yeah.
That's what that felt like.
But apparently not. So rather
Florida's,
interesting. I don't
Florida's
think
like, we are taking advantage of the fact this is a
it's
beta.
quite common courtesy to check from now on. We will see. It almost worked. It would have been cool if it did. Hydron.
You know, you get some ult charge, you
Naga.
play the fight again, and
Down two. All on the Widowmakers.
give up that one corner, but you still get the car wash, so you still get the an advantageous place to take this fight.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Not the fairest duel in the world, but looked pretty good.
Let's see. Let's get that replay. Oh my goodness.
It's so fun to just VOD review when it goes on the map, and it's just like, well, she the kid, they win fight.
Wow.
Ah, that was
Like, like what else do you say?
Sniper do be sniping.
I mean, one thing to keep in mind is that when you have a Widow, is like, don't overextend past the sightlines. Because you're not going to get any DPS value if you aggress on the Widow's not able to follow up on your aggression. So Widow maintains that long sightline right there, and Florida decides,
Not for long.
Florida decides we're going to hold the corner and not try to dive backline. We'll make them play into us.
Really punishing the Paris Eternal. Someone needs to stay alive. Okay, good. He gets needed.
So it's like
Florida Mayhem
Florida hasn't lost a fight since losing that first fight here.
That's really good. I mean, Vestola's Graviton Surge here, it's got to hit 5. Like, otherwise, I don't think they win this next fight, especially against the Blade and the Beat.
Well, with Hydron as well, just going to go ahead and pop sights. There's not really any surprises that the Paris Eternal come up with.
They're going to grab Checkmate. There's the Beat. He's still swinging, but they're not getting anywhere close. Vestola goes low. Checkmate doesn't want to go in.
Oh!
Slash. And he gets
I think they got a little greedy there. Like, I think you survive that beat, back up, you go back to the same position. Right? Like, don't try to spend too much.
Situation for them to be, and I said the grab had to be big, and it was. Hydron just hugging coastline is going to have to get back. They know they've used a lot in this fight, and they have to
get another fight though.
And the blade, nano blade at that, is available. Primal Rage is going to get used. There's the beat. The nano doesn't come out. He's chasing the Lucio, but he gets knocked away. He dashes in, but knocked up again.
Good play by someone there.
But Glister still picking up the
good
pieces
response.
Of this fight. Finds Sir Marget. Animo was alone, and Naga chased him down. Took him a while, but he got there in the end, and so did the payload.
It made them grind out a lot of resources for that point. I think you take that if you're Florida.
Took a lot of time for the Paris Eternal to do that, though. Florida Mayhem had a pretty stalwart defense, but changing things up a little bit here. Got Hydron now off the Widowmaker onto the Soldier 76. So extra sustain now going into the team, and also just consistent damage.
Speaking of consistency, oh, nice attempt to reflect. Oh, he hits the main and the sleep, no way. Oh, so much yet, so clean. This guy has been scrimming on ping, mind you, too, before he did reach the state, so I can imagine this feels like just
another good sleep. I mean, I feel like it's more newsworthy at this point if an Animus on an ulting Genji. Like, we've seen just so many clutch sleep and
come on, man.
The melee also just to punch the Lucio.
I need to do a little more like study up on this map because I mean, like, I'm not sure exactly where you're. Like, I think this is a really good spot for defense as well because you kind of have the high ground immediately, like just by default. A hard point to approach.
They do indeed. Hydron running away. Nano onto someone as he leaps into the front. However, Sir Marget has been aggressive before, maybe too aggressive. That fight. Speed boost from Lucio is going to make sure they get back to the fight in time.
Seems very difficult to try to get access, especially if you're going to play the Zarya. You're going to eat so much damage on the approach.
Let's see how big the grab can be, though.
Well, there it is. It does land on nobody. So Zero Man.
Which at this point, if you're Vestola, go Winston. Like, you got to be able to contest this high ground.
Naga 2. Genji's out of the fight, somewhat bullying the backline. Khan stays alive. There's a mini pack in there too, so a nade and the mini pack sends Khan to full HP. Wastes a lot of that primal rage from someone, and now he's going pretty low.
Vestola's got to switch.
Hopped on as the Florida Mayhem do manage to once again hold the payload where it is. 30 seconds remains for the Paris Eternal now.
Wait, look where Checkmate is. Oh no. See, someone went back so Sir Majid could get the healing, but like...
Spotted.
Foiled. Absolutely foiled. They're gonna go in though.
We're trying a lot of tricky shit on here. Another clutch sleep.
Glister buys the dust too. There's a nice kill from Naga, but this blade's gonna have to be massive. It finds one, it finds another. Naga keeping this team fight alive. There are 7 seconds to go. Paris Eternal will be in OT before they
one thing, like, I know one of the big things with Overwatch 2 was they wanted more emphasis on individual playmaking. I definitely think that's something in here. Like, that fight was one just I mean, obviously, like, calling out Checkmate, like finding him early helps with that fight win. but it's also just an outplay from Naga on the blade. And the big sleep onto Glister.
Doesn't matter because the Florida Mayhem punched their ticket home on Circuit Royale. And they managed to get.
I didn't see how this all played out.
Match point now is the Paris Eternal need to find.
So they think they've won this map at this point, right?
Such good stuff from the Florida Mayhem. I mean, their defense there, it really didn't leave Paris Eternal with too much time. Checkmate though. That little cheeky.
So I feel like Hydron's like, all right, we're gonna break down some reactions here. Right? So I think, yo, McGina with the 4-man raid. Thank you so much for coming in, hanging out with us. So we're reviewing some Overwatch League matches. I am Hoagie. Oh, put it on this. I am Hoagie. For those of you that are new here, you know, have a tendency to just watch Overwatch League and break down what's going on in the maps. Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. We're watching Paris versus Florida, and we're actually watching the part where Florida gets called out for you play some stuff. What's up? What's good, dude? Missed your last stream. Wanted to catch this one. Well, I'm glad you came by. How was your stream? Were you playing some Apex Legends? Legends of Apex? So yeah, so Florida pulls an illegal move at the beginning of their map, and they play through the whole map on offense. They play through the whole map on defense, and then it looks like this is where they learn that like they're asking admins to take a look at the rulebook and make a ruling on whether or not they made an illegal move. What's up? Samir, is it Samir Valison? Sam R. Valison? Did a 9-hour Apex run. Yeah, it was pretty dude, nice. 9 hours. Sam R. Gotcha. Welcome in, welcome in. So I think Florida, like, just judging by this reaction, knew that there was a chance that them pulling the move off that they did was gonna get called out as illegal.
I don't know. I'm gonna
But they also look a little stunned that it's happening. So yeah, they think they're about to
small update for you. Okay, a small update for you.
So yes, they're gonna make the Mayhem redo their attack. So the attack for Paris is gonna stand, but Florida's gonna have to redo their attack. Are they gonna re-show the illegal move so everyone has context on what happened? This is when they took, like, I feel like they took a couple really long breaks here.
There's no first point to capture. So
yeah, so they're having a reset. Let's see if they replay it.
That has to be the one.
Oh my gosh, this break was so fucking long. Okay, yep, so here's the illegal move that they made. So out of spawn on Circuit Royale, they ran out with the May and the Symmetra, and this is a sloped roof, which means you're not supposed to be allowed to like stand on it and walk on it. If you make contact with it, you'll fall off. And so there's a glitch where they can Maywall up there, and then they teleport with the Symmetra on top of it, and they bypass one of the main chokes on this map and are able to drop down and win this fight immediately. So that was the illegal move that they pulled. It was pretty nutty, pretty 5-head of them, but yeah, it kind of sucks. You have to wonder, like, I would expect that Mayhem thought, like, there's a chance that we pull this off and it's considered illegal. Overwatch is notorious, infamous, if you will, for being very cagey with releasing their official rules. I think in like season 1 they released their rule book and stuff, but they don't generally release their rule book, and so it makes situations like this even more kind of sticky, I guess. And so, but I imagine Florida probably thought, okay, there's a chance that this is illegal. But if there isn't, it's like, did they practice other comps on here? Did they like what are they doing with their what do they do with their comp at this point? Like, did they just scrim a bunch with that little bug? They are gonna go with the same exact comp, which is interesting. What if they just did it again and we're like, we're gonna just fucking make you reset? Very interesting that they're going back out with this.
Well, they're running with the same comp on attack, but this time not jumping over the roof there. I can imagine just TP to.
This is a lot harder of an approach because the Symmetra's got to get some value, like be able to step out.
There you go. There's the wall.
If they just, I imagine that if they redid it, they would have been would have forfeited the map, or maybe been disqualified as a whole. But yeah, it'd have been hilarious if they were like, "Fuck you guys, we're doing it again." They still win the first fight.
Checkmate finishes the kill on to Naga, and they will end up taking this first corner quite quickly.
So very, very different in Overwatch 2, because if they would have done that same exact fight in Overwatch 1, Sermajed would have his ultimate.
That's not the wall you want to hit.
What? Dude, that was a bronze wall right there. That like, hey, I'm dealing a lot of backline damage. What are you doing? Right. So this was very unfortunate. This is a very different story if they don't wall this off right here, because they probably picked the Brig off. It took them a lot longer to kill her, and at this point, Glister could just free firing.
He's just sat up on the high ground, not a care in the world. He takes two with him, maybe a third. Oh, flick of the wrist, ends up going wide. That teleporter.
Unfortunate wall from Checkmate there.
Behind Vestola, but Checkmate walled him off.
Yeah, let's see Glister's POV from this as well, though. Oh my goodness!
And then a very, very good wall
Set him up and Glister knocked him down.
from Naga.
Hey, go download me a Hoagie off the internet.
From that Widowmaker.
Yo, afternoon time. Thank you so much for the follow.
Florida Mayhem, they still have some time, though.
You've never played Overwatch before? That's cool. Yeah. I love Overwatch. I've been into it since beta of the first game. I've watched, almost every game for the first 5 seasons, so probably every game for the first 5 seasons.
Interrupt that. Doesn't do a crazy amount of damage, as someone had his shield up and two healers just spamming heals towards.
This is an interesting composition from Paris that I don't think we've seen with the Sigma, I don't know what you would even call this composition, because you got a lot of people that want to kind of brawl, but then you got some others that want to deal damage from afar.
To counteract that Blizzard, nice little body block there on to Naga, so
Dude, I'm a huge
that damage, the beat.
It's Always Sunny fan. My name when I first got into making content was Download a Hoagie. And it was because of that scene. Go download me a Hoagie off the internet.
And it does. Glister trying to find a couple of little exit kills. Ain't gonna happen.
Now that Florida Mayhem.
So, McGiner, are you playing? Well, first of all, I'm glad you've gone back from McRobots. Second of all, have you been playing ranked, or are you just pub stomping in Apex?
The barrier available from Hydron here. Glister might have just.
Oh yeah, dude, I've been listening to. I started listening to their podcast while I was working out, and haven't worked out in a while. I need to get back into it and start listening again.
That photon barrier. See, the HP is so high. It's 4,000 HP. It's quite large.
Okay, let's see. What did we miss on this fight?
Mayhem have captured this first checkpoint. They don't have too much farther to go in order.
This is an even more interesting comp, because you've got Vistola, who's just going to kind of go in. I guess he's going to have like the Harmony Orb from the Zenyatta. But at this point, this seems like a very strange composition for them to really get a lot of value in, because Vistola's just going to play Interrupter, and try to get back to the team as quickly as possible. So it'll be interesting to see how they approach this.
Looking at as well the barrier available available from Hydron here. Glister might have just popped the sights,
From
but Glister has
you were
very
relegated from
good
diamond to silver? That's
where
crazy.
you will be effective.
Yeah, there's really no like ability to create space here.
Where
Like,
pop the sights.
obviously you want to hold this high ground. The high ground's really valuable right here. So cart's pushing up this way, right? And you've got this high ground right here. I'm showing where the height difference is. This is the actual. But so I get where you're wanting to like hold this, but Vistola doesn't get a lot of advantage from being a Doomfist on this high ground. There's no real follow-up damage. The Glister doesn't have the Widow doesn't have a great great sightline. I guess like he can come over here on top of this and get some shots raining down, but it's like, what value are you getting out of the Mei? I guess you're just waiting for her to be able to get ult and maybe turn a fight, but outside of that, Mei doesn't provide a lot of damage from this high ground. Cover options are really limited here. The high ground is the real value that you're going to get from a position like this, so you want to try to like seat your hit scan characters up here, but other than that, like, Naga's not going to do a lot. I guess he's just going to try to land some icicles and get ultimate.
You will be effective as we do see the barrier get popped.
Even less effective now. That photon barrier. See the HP is so
I think what they're thinking is like, we're just going to have to fight them on point, but this is 3 minutes where they're going to have to make a hold here.
It's a little bit easier to execute into this comp if you want to run those TPs. Oh, the teleport of bait. Vestola doesn't fall for it. That payload's so close to the exit. Oh, Vestola getting chunked down so much, and Sir Marchet is just going to brain that.
How did they win this?
The entire team down fall for it. That payload's so close to the exit. Oh, Vestola getting chunked down so much, and Sir Marchet is just going to brain that exit.
Does the
Vestola doesn't fall for it. That payload's so
and it doesn't get walled off.
Oh, Vestola getting chunked down so much, and Sir Marchet is just going to brain that coalescence through the
I wish we had the replay viewer, because that was not what we needed to see to know why that fight didn't work. Like,
Naga has been able to set up some
very
massive
strange.
plays with those Mei walls, and that's what you want to see if you're a Paris Eternal fan. Glister, though, instead of using those
I feel like you walk the I feel like you walk Naga back and make him switch off of this Mei now that he's, and you go for a Genji or something. But what do I know?
Can be super useful with the rest of the team, and also just that consistent damage.
A speed boost and a blizzard. That's the main course. Block already used by Naga. He's in trouble. However, Khan uses the Transcendence.
The Transcendence.
Shots as he possibly can on top of that extra healing.
I do think we're gonna see more Zen, and even if the changes from the next patch aren't in, like, I just think the damage he gives you from range is good, and I think if you can just defend him in the back line, then you get a lot of value. And I think if you've got like the soldier kind of babysitting him, I think you can get value there. The composition for Paris just seems a little mix and match, and like it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Coming online for Animo, and this could be really, really nice to use here now that Vestola has also switched over to Sigma and does not have that ultimate available. It won't be for a long time.
That's an
A window is going to force him back. Is there infinite respawns until the round timer ends? Yeah, infinite respawns until the round timer ends. And you can switch characters at any given time in Overwatch as well, as long as you're back at spawn. So you can either die and switch or walk back to spawn and switch. Oh, how did they lose this? Oh, they didn't lose it. Maybe okay, I must have who I thought won this wrong.
They take Circuit Royale for the second time. 2-1 in the series. Match points for the Mayhem.
All right.
Florida Mayhem 2-1 up in the series.
Hey, I will say this. Absolute mental fortitude to be able to have to replay the attack round and win that map again. They finished the map before with a minute to go, but
When you push up,
all right. I think this might be the first push map that we on.
Is just after.
I think this might be the first push map we've.
Because that incline is so steep,
So,
and there's so many
I'll explain this when we get in.
around the
We're going to
defense
New Queen Street. It's a push.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
is
It's
oh, I
tough,
guess that
and especially because it's a push
that's
map
broken.
as well,
Oh,
like,
also
you
check out my
have
YouTube channel. Subscribe to it if you're into Overwatch. There's a lot of content. You can go watch VODs of my match reviews there. We also do something called the Monday Morning Meta Report, which is where we just go over like what the pro meta is at the moment and how it's evolving and changing. Go check that out. But yes, push New Queen Street. This is another neutral objective game mode. So, all right, you've got Timothy here, this robot, and there are two barriers. So this is one team's barrier. There's another on the other side here. And the team that is in control of the robot by clearing the point off and then being in proximity will have Timothy push the barrier towards the enemy team spawn. And so that's this progress bar up here, right? So Paris will attack, push this barrier this way. Paris will attack, and I think the barrier will move. Whoever has their barrier pushed closer to the other team spawn is the winner at the end. If you reach these checkpoints, you get a different and closer spawn. That's the way this game works. It'll make a little more sense as we're watching. It's absolutely fucking chaotic because there's fighting at all times. So Overwatch is generally like a team fight based game mode, right? Like there's a lot of advantage to keeping up and taking fights as a unit. It's a little less important in push because you want to really just be trying to contest the push point at all times.
Shout out to my community who did a little Connect 4 tournament.
It is very, very fast, and it's very hard to kind of keep up with and know what's going on. I would love to do some more like beginner content too to kind of teach people about Overwatch and like how to watch it to start as you like learn the characters and abilities and things like that. So I might do some more things like that to give people an on-ramp because it's a fun game. It's a deep game. There's a lot going on. It's a very high skill ceiling game. So we're going back into this like traditional dive composition. So I'll explain. I'll take a little time to explain China if you like me to. What we're seeing here. So it's a 5v5 objective-based competitive game. Unlimited respawns. They're going to have 8 minutes to push this thing. This is where the robot is. These are the barriers. The barriers are going to move this direction, right? So whoever gets it closer to the enemy team spawn is the winner. We've got our 5 teams are made up of 3 roles. So your team will always have 2 damage dealers, 2 support players, and then the tank is here in the middle. Right now, the main meta that we're seeing is called Dive, which is high on mobility. It's high on target selection. And it's a lot of like get in, get a kill, get out. So, and these are the 2 main tanks that we're seeing. So this is Doomfist. He's a guy who has a big metal fist and can rocket punch and do stuff like that. He can jump in on the back line, do a lot of damage. Then we have Winston, who's a giant monkey with a Tesla cannon. Does a lot of cleave damage with it. He has a big bubble shield that he can toss out, and it blocks damage. And then Soldier is the absolute must-pick character at this moment. He is a hit scan character who does a shitload of damage. He's got a lot of mobility because he's the only character in the game who has a sprint ability. And his tack visor ultimate is absolutely nasty. So it automatically damages not being blocked by a shield or like a Maywall or by cover or something like that. So a lot of value there. Genji is like a ninja. He dashes through, another very high mobility character. Lucio does AoE damage and can also her AoE healing and can also speed boost his teammates that are standing within a proximity of him. And then Ana's kind of like our must-pick support at the moment. She has a gun that can both heal and damage people depending on who she's shooting. She has what's called a Bionade, which is a grenade that does splash damage, and if it hits an enemy team, they can't receive healing for 4 seconds. And she has a sleep dart that takes somebody out of a fight and causes them to sleep. So, a few minutes, seconds. That's kind of where we're at with the meta, and this is not a great mode to be the first, one of the first ones to watch, because people are just gonna go absolutely crazy on each other, and there's gonna be fighting left and right. It sounds so trolly. It's actually a pretty high skill level because it's a projectile. It's not hit scan, so it takes a lot of skill to land it.
Yeah, Hydron just gets danced upon by Naga. That was close. Dana will set himself off the edge. He's incredibly low, but
yeah, it's all just chaos and
pocketing his supports pretty much with that healing station.
craziness.
Pretty easy to go.
But a good early fight win for Paris here. At this moment, it's like the first team to kill Soldier gets such a big benefit because it's so much damage immediately taken out. So the fact that they find Soldier, who is being played by Hydron, they find him and kill him first, puts them at a huge advantage.
It's going to be so hard to be able to hit those shots too, absolutely. And then healing station on top of that, you're just unkillable.
Oh, no way. Someone again goes super low dive.
So that's another, like, so what the key to dive, your Winston is going to set the tempo on the dive, and then you want your Genji to go in and follow up. And so we're going to see, like, a real lack of timing here. So they spot out the back line. Genji has used his deflect, which is a defensive ability. We see Winston diving into the back line here, and he's going to just take a shitload of damage before Genji's even able to approach. Goes in real deep. He's already at a quarter health, gets punched back by the Doom, but they trade out. So now it's really just like an individual skill fight at this point.
To make sure he can't get shot in the back. Sleep onto Callista. Florida Mayhem getting the barricade on its way. You can see Paris Eternal didn't push it much, Rose, because they were down players when
Push just gets so scrappy. Like it really feels a lot more deathmatchy than any other game mode. And I don't know if that's because teams are still kind of figuring out how they want to play it, or if it's just it's much more advantageous to fight and delay and try to just maintain control of Timothy pushing. So when it's contested, which means members from both teams are near it, it won't make any more progress. Oh. It's just so hard to, like, point at anything. So this is someone. He's asleep during his ultimate. It feels bad. It feels really bad when it happens to you, especially as a tank, because it takes a lot less skill to hit sleep dart as a tank.
Rage, hoping that you can rely on the other ultimates coming up in the bank to be able to take this next fight.
Florida's retaken Timothy. So this is the big, like, combination of ultimates that we're seeing right now. So like I said, the Soldier 76's ultimate deals like automatic damage, like it's like an aimbot kind of deal. And then the Ana's Nano boost allows him to do additional damage, and he has healing reduction or damage reduction for a little bit of time, like takes less. And it also instantly heals him back to full health if he's hit with a low target. So this is the big combination ult that we've been seeing. How does the bot decide which wall it's going to start pushing? So the team that's able to clear the other team off of it, and then gets control of it, and then it'll walk back to that team's barrier to begin. And as long as they keep the point cleared off, it'll push the barrier. If it's contested, it stops, and then if the defending team clears that team off the point, they get control. So Nano Visor is 2 ults that get one really valuable ult out, which is Lucio's called beat and it's called sound barrier, but everybody calls it beat. And it just provides a massive overshield that decays pretty quickly, but is able to save people. Got two blades going at the same time here. My gosh, Sermajed just, I think, lands a massive Bionade here.
They've got the blade and the beat for next fight. They just have to be careful of Naga.
A very bad spot here to try to get into. So yeah.
It's gonna be good though. That's what you need. Naga 21 HP. Looking for
Wow.
support.
No, it wasn't. I don't even think it was a nade.
Somehow claims 3. Jeez, this guy's finding himself in the kill feed so often.
Yeah.
Imagine their cleanups from checkmates, but still, so much yet finding the
Yeah, this is the angle you want to see. So he tries to sleep dart the ult in Genji, misses.
Yeah.
I mean, he just able to free fire in there. Also, McGina, thank you so much for the YouTube subscription as well.
Unfortunately, someone gonna be a big pick for the Paris Eternal.
Oh, no way.
Oh, what?
Wow, that was so nice. Hydron found the
What is happening? How are they losing? There's not even a team fight happening.
Pick for the Paris Eternal.
Oh, no way.
Oh, what?
Wow, that was so nice. Hydron
So Overwatch League has always had something called the replay viewer, which is like a saved VOD of all these matches, but you can use all the spectating tools. Like you can go look at a first-person view of another player, or like you can zoom out and see map positioning. I'm ready for Overwatch League Season 5 to get it so that we can actually see what happened there. Like, I have no idea why
Can't really judge
how Checkmate got 3 kills in that.
team fights based on who has control of the objective, because look at how fast that flips back and forth. It's just because people are touching it. Oh,
No, no, no.
What is it? Like, I think Paris just needs to regroup and, you know,
Nerves getting to him.
take a team fight at this point. Like, they're just...
Beautiful bio grenade. That was
Look, there's a lot less kind of organized team fighting in push, but there is still a benefit from saying, like, we have 0 tempo. We need to reset in order to get that tempo back. Because they just, I mean, they just wasted a minute.
Guy is crazy.
so good. And he's playing against so many.
And you don't get any advantage. They didn't use any ultimates to clear you out, and you've given up. They're about to have 4 ultimates on Florida's side for this next team fight.
Nanovisor, nice deflect. Anti-nade ain't gonna do nothing against that. Hard slept in the back line. Meteor strike used to get out
Yeah.
of there. Does he use it offensively or defensively? Looks like a defensive.
Paris has no tempo. Everything that they're using is being used defensively.
This time, a lot of that damage blocked out by the bubble, and now the primal rage is batting him around. He's got perfect aim, but he hasn't got
The
enough
respawns are all yeah. Respawns are fast, but staggering is a really big deal. Ultimates are really valuable in Overwatch, even more so in Overwatch 2, because they spawn a lot slower. So just the idea that, like, every death is giving over more ult charge, because you get ult charge from damage and kills and killing the stun, things like that. So when you're staggering, it's not just the kills and the timing you're giving over; it's the ult charge as well. And they have no tempo, and Don is just going in all by his lonesome for these fights and getting killed. I don't know if we've seen a team finish a push map either. It's really hard to finish push.
This is their final stand. Dredro with the beat. The blade from Naga's close. Dredro hits it, and 4 others.
All right, so good beat from Paris. So you want to try to use like sound barrier to counter a DPS ult, like Blade or like Tac Visor or something like that.
That'll be the Florida Mayhem foregoing the payload.
All right, but Paris finally has the opportunity to get tempo, but it's going to take so long to get Timothy back to the barrier.
Before that barricade gets moving for the Paris Eternal.
Yeah, wow. Look at these punches coming in from Dawn. Just some really
Also, the
great
quality of this video is not on my end. It is on the Overwatch League.
kind of pick up those,
We had a hard time
those
this week
spicy kills.
with bitrate.
Nanovisor.
As you'll notice, like, a lot of the graphics look good, but the gameplay doesn't.
For the hills. Lucio, yeah, there's no way you're going to be able to chase that down. Good flick of the wrist, though, with the little micro missiles, finishes off one support and then the other. Nice work. Okay, so that's what the Paris Eternal needed. They need 2 fight wins here in order to take control, but not before.
This is still like a really, really hard fight. Like the discrepancy between where these barriers are is huge. Like I think Paris is gonna have to win like 4 straight team fights in order to win this.
But still kill someone.
So they're doing it, but they're gonna have to do it in overtime. So once overtime is triggered, somebody has to remain on the point. You'll see a little wick show up above, like up here, and it won't burn down as long as somebody's standing on the point.
There's 10 seconds to go as the Paris Eternal have lost control of the push bot, and Dan is getting body blocked. Can he get out in time? No, he cannot. Time's ticking down.
All right, well, nobody's even standing there to trigger overtime, so somebody from the attacking team has to be on the point in order to trigger overtime. So this is a clutch body block here from someone, and they just clean up this fight nowhere near the point. This is like super aggressive. So let's take a look at this. This is the final fight. All right, here's Don. He's pushing the point, right? He's got this forward spawn, and his idea is we're going to try to get the rest of this team up here and probably try to take this fight through. This is what they want to do, right? So Florida is ignoring contesting the point because they've got to cover all of this space, right? Like, they don't have to contest the point to slow it down. They're nowhere close to being able to take this fight. So they're instead going to loop around, and what they're going to do is they're going to spot out the back line, get on top of it early. That's going to cause Don to have to counter dodge, right? Because if he doesn't do anything at this point, they kill the back line. Their only hope is to try to win this fight within 15 seconds and get back to the point, or do what they did, which is get killed on it, and they can't even trigger overtime. So that's what we see, right? They loop around, they spot the point. Once they've identified everything here, they know Don's on the point because there's one person that's pushing it, and so they're able to just aggress on the back line, and Don has no choice but to counter dodge.
Seconds to go as the Paris Eternal have lost control of the push bot, and Dan is getting body blocked. Can he get out in time? You don't get a ton of time after a team fight win to kind of reestablish your tempo if you've lost that forward spawn. So that's a 3-1 win for Florida. That is not that I actually thought Paris won this, because I was out and about when this match happened yesterday. So big props to Florida for keeping the mental when they had to redo that map. They were super creative with their compositions. I feel like Paris on the escort map that you guys all joined in on there at the end, I felt like got stuck in a very awkward position with their composition. Didn't switch off of it at the time, and we've seen this now twice because we saw this in the Dallas match too, where Hanbin got kind of stuck on Arya in a disadvantageous position because he was overvaluing his ult charge. I don't really know what Paris' thinking was staying on the Mei there, where really the only long range damage you have is her. So yeah, I think Paris just played that a little bit wooden, and then on the push map they lost the tempo early. Were not able to regain the tempo at any point. So yeah, I think that those were our big mistakes. But yeah, that is going to do it for our VOD review of the Paris Eternal Florida Mayhem match. If you're watching over on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe over there. Let me know what you thought of this match, what you thought of Mayhem's strategy that was legal. I think it was cool. But yeah, let me know, and